So one thing we haven't seen a whole lot of in the Switch 2 generation so far is a lineup of truly premium, top quality, fully Switch 2 ready controller alternatives, because you're probably well aware that while the Switch 2 Pro controller is nice, it comes at a hefty price point, and it's the only controller that will actually wake up your system from rest and have the chat button baked in. Well, that's not the case anymore, and while there are other third-party alternatives on the market, shout outs to Easy SMX. They actually approached me for a sponsored video to take a look at their controller, the Easy SMX S10, which is fully Switch 2 ready with things like the C button that will get you into the game chat menu, and easy wake from sleep at the press of the home button as well. So I'm going to take an in-depth look at these controllers today, do some hands-on testing, share my initial hands-on impressions of the controllers with you all, and ultimately hopefully come to the conclusion on whether or not these might be good ones to look at if you are in the market for a controller for yourself or a loved one as we talk about holiday season 2025. So we'll break down all of this information. Before we do, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on your bell notification to join Sunbro Nation if you're new here. And we are going to start this off by taking a quick up-close look at both of these controllers while basically talking about some of the different features they have. So the first thing I want to point out is on the back, you do have this S and X switch. S will be whenever you are connecting it to a Switch or Switch 2, and X, this controller is fully compatible and ready to go with things like PC and mobile, no problems. You can also see while we're looking at the back here that you have the GR and GL button, both easily programmable with the Switch 2, and obviously if you own a Switch 2 Pro controller or have used one, it's very similar to how you would go about programming that. The L and R buttons, ZL, ZR buttons, very similar to that of a Switch 2 Pro controller, but I will say that the back buttons of the ZL, ZR are flared out quite a bit more than what they are with the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. And the one thing that I'm going to call out right away with the buttons and the kind of tactile clicky feel to them is that it's very nice if you're not a fan of more of that mushy feeling controller, because I'll lift this up to my mic just really quickly, but you can definitely hear a distinctive click as you press each button, and it goes right back to its immediate original form. It doesn't feel like it's maybe going to stay pushed down or smushed down or anything like that. And then I do want to talk about really quickly next the interchangeable faceplates that you have available, as well as I guess since I pulled that off during the interchangeable D-pad, which if you're not a fan of this multi-directional D-pad, you're not stuck with that as your only option. But we'll first go ahead and put on the different faceplate that comes with the black controller here, and I do have both the black and white color scheme options that they sent me. You can get either one of these on the website, but just for the sake of the video, I will quickly show you guys just how easy it is to basically switch out that D-pad on the fly. This also doesn't come out super easy or anything like that. You do really have to clip it up whenever it's put in the right way to pull that out. So it's not just going to fall out on its own, but it's still easy enough to change if you want to change out that D-pad, which is a really nice thing when it comes to flexibility and customization for this controller. One thing that's talked about in the marketing for this controller quite a bit as well is TMR, or Tiny Magneto Resistance. It is a different type of precision-based thumbstick that some of the basically the kind of enhancements that you're going to get with it is just better precision overall, better long-term durability, so you don't have to worry about things like stick drift with this being the case, and that is definitely a nice option to see. So with that known, we're going to go ahead and hop into some Switch 2 games to test this in, because I do want to actually test the gyro aiming, as well as just that claim of, does this feel like a fully responsive and minimal latency, highly accurate type of controller to play with on your Switch 2. So we'll hop to some gameplay live that you can see me testing out the controller now. Now I'm going to first show you guys what an initial sync up looks like. So if I press and hold this this home button rather, for just about 3 seconds, it's going to immediately connect with the console whenever you are on the setup new controller button. And I do have Rumble enabled as well, so we can kind of test out some of the real HD rumble claims that this Easy SMX has with the S10 controller, that HD rumble is sufficient and comparable to the Nintendo Switch 1 controller. So I do want to test that with you all in real time. We're going to hop into Hollow Knight Silksong, because this is a game that I in particular believe that precision and reaction time is extremely important. And I mean to the point where you can truly have the difference between a successful run or a run that ends in death, just between, you know, response time and the sticks responding accordingly. Now, I will tell you that I actually played, even though this game kind of makes sense to play with the D-pad in general, I played it with the analog stick. And so having something like the TMR sticks where, you know, the claim is longer durability, but specifically precision, that is something that's going to be very important to me to actually test out. So we're only going to spend just a moment in Hollow Knight because there is another feature with the 6-axis gyro aiming that I do actually want to highlight within this controller, but I wanted to take a look at this, and I will tell you right out of the gate, both the rumble, vibration, all of that stuff feels top notch. It feels very responsive as to what I'm doing, and you know, I can tell immediately that everything is responding as I would expect it to. Nothing is popping off some kind of red flag or making me think that, oh, there's some kind of latency issue going on with this controller. Like, all of this feels in line with exactly what you'd expect from something like a Switch 2 Pro controller experience. And again, this one is really coming in at a competitive price point in comparison to the Switch 2 Pro controller, which is up to like 95 USD retail. So I do want to hop into Mario Galaxy 1 and 2 next, so we will do that now. Now, you guys may well know why I want to test the gyro aiming with Mario Galaxy or Galaxy 2 specifically, and that has to do with exactly what you are seeing take place on screen, where yes, indeed, we do have, you know, basically motion controls from the Wii era tied into your controller's precision. And so this is going to be a good test if you are worried about the accuracy of the gyro aiming within this controller. And I'd also like to highlight just some of the cool aesthetics to it, because if you look at the RGB lighting that's here between the symbols and everything that they have going on, that's kind of a cool thing. Also, excellent battery life within this controller, as it does have a larger milliamp battery than what you will sometimes find in typical third-party controllers. So that is all stuff that's good to see, that you want to see. And I'm happy to say that initially, as you guys can kind of see in real time on screen, this is responding very well in terms of the pointer within Mario Galaxy 2 and my gyro controls within this controller. So that is exactly what I wanted to see, kind of test out in real time, and happy to say that, yeah, all of this feels like what you want and not something that you feel like you're sacrificing quality or sacrificing anything in terms of a feature set. And speaking of, you know, the additional features of this controller, we talked about it a little bit, but not only is it Switch 2 ready with the ability to hit the home button and wake up the console, but we also have this ability to hit the chat button. And so I will demonstrate it from the actual being in game. And whenever we do that, I did the screen capture button there by mistake, but this does have that right on board as well. Whenever I hit that chat button, I'm immediately going to go to the game chat window where I can then create a chat room just like you would. That's also another thing that in the Switch 2 generation so far is a rarity, and the S10 from Easy SMX does deliver on that. So all in all, I will say that this controller very much, in my opinion, impresses me, especially for the price point. So please, guys, check out the link in the pinned comment and description down below and give the Easy SMX controller S10 a chance for your Switch 1, Switch 2, or of course, if you have PC or mobile, all of that stuff is supported for this. So big shout outs to Easy SMX for sponsoring this video, and the link can be found in the pinned comment and description down below, and I will see you guys in the next one.